Hi everyone, it's Kim with cardcreationsbykim.com, and I'm here to share this really cute, very simple birthday card with you. I'm going to say it's a unisex because you could probably give it to a boy or a girl. Now, I used the Celebrations Cricut cartridge, and I used this balloon here and that balloon, and that's on page 95, and I cut that at 3 inches. Today we're also going to be using a heat embosser, foam adhesive pop-ups. Doesn't matter what name brand, but I get the Recollections because there's a Michaels right down the street from me. For the base card, we're using the pre-scored Recollection cards that comes with. Oops, they're falling out the envelope. Fun thing that if you have not used these yet, they're the Shrinky Dinks. I am brand new at it, so I have to sometimes do it a couple times for it to work out, but the end result is really, really cute. And then I'm using the confetti paper from K & Company. And K & Company, I like their paper because they have the back and the front. Die Cuts with a View does too, but this is what I'm using here. And then just some other, basic tools, score tape, tweezers. I'm also using this, I guess it's sort of like twine. It's a multicolored, and that's going to be the strings for the balloons. And just some zig and a punch. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and stamp my 3x2 plastic sheet of the Shrinky Dinks. And I'm using a stamp that's called Celebrate. And for the Shrinky Dinks, you want to use StazOn. It's the only one that I have found that works. Regular inks don't seem to be to work for this. So I'm just going to stamp that like so. And then you want to put your, set this aside, hole punch in before you heat emboss it. Let me grab my hole punch. And I'm using the big one today. I'm going to do it down about right there. Okay, that's good. Now, you can also take your StazOn and sort of ink the edges if you want to do that. Kind of finishes it up. Try not to touch the stamp image that you've already done because it doesn't dry quickly. And you'll just smear it. Okay, so I'm going to use my tweezers, and I'm just going to put them right there in that hole. I don't need to use that pointy end. As I use my heat gun, and you're going to go directly down on it, and you'll see as the process starts, it's going to shrink up and get all curly, but if you keep your heat gun straight down on it, it'll flatten out, and then you're going to put something on it to flatten it out even more. So here we go. Now it's starting to shrink up. You're going to keep your heat gun on it. Get it to flatten out. There we go. That side's going down. I hope you can see this. Now that side needs to go down. This is really tricky. Like I said, sometimes I have to do it a couple times. Heat it up. Alrighty. Now this is pretty hot. The plastic is pretty hot is what I'm saying. One side is not going down. Okay, we're going to accept this for now. And then I'm just going to place my stays on there to get it flattened out. Tweezers are hot. That one is not to my satisfaction, but I did make this one. We'll just use this one because that's the one I used prior to that, so we'll set that aside. And that happens with me. I'm still practicing on doing these shrinky-dink things. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so I went ahead and found some scrap paper. This is just like a lime green cardstock, and I cut it out at 4 by 5.5, which is the size of the Recollections card that I'm going to put it on. So let's go ahead and do that. Using my ATG gun for this card, which if you had been watching my previous videos here and there, I do use the Tombow mono adhesive because I seem to work really well with that, being able to adjust the paper if I need to. And that one actually went on. Okay, let's see if I can straighten that up just a tiny bit. I need to bring it over to the side there. Alright, that's better. Alrighty, now I'm going to put this, that's the back of it, but we're going to use this. Excuse me. This, like I said, is a really, really simple card. Sometimes simple is better, but there are some amazing cards out there. Set my ATG aside. See if I can get this on straight. Put it on about right there. I'm not going to push it down until I know that I have got it on as straight as possible. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so this is the finished look of this and this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little tiny hole punch, pardon me, and punch a hole right at the bottom here. Then I'm going to sometimes if you wet the twine, it'll go through better. I might need to break it apart a little bit so it would be easier to go in. Not so thick. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to thread that through. I'm going to use my tweezers instead of trying to just thread it through normally. Alright, that's good. And then I'm just going to take a tiny piece of tape and tape that down. Right, there's one. Okay, so I'm going to use my zig, set my card a little bit to the side here. And I'm going to, there we go, glue the top layer of the balloon onto the shadow. Like that. And then do the same for this one. This balloon cuts out really cute on a big size also if you're making decorations for a party. And there's all kinds of different designs. There's swirls, there's this one which is like a stripe, there's stars, And there's one cut, I'll show you real quick, where you actually get a string. If you're going to do this one, you want to do it at least 3.5 or 4 inches, because the string is really, really tiny, and when you're taking it off your cutting mat, it tends to tear. And I know that because I tried it. Share that with you. Okay, I'm going to punch my hole in that one. And punch my hole in that one. Now you notice on this string here, if you can see, part of it's orange and then part of it's yellow. That's one of the things I liked about that string, and I'm sure I got that at Joann's. There's a little bit more of the, you know, threads and the strings and stuff like that available through Joann's versus Michael's. Get that through there. Awkward silence here. Trying to focus. There we go. Okay, and again, we're going to go ahead and use a piece of transparency tape. Hold that down. And the last one I actually punched too far over, so we're going to go ahead and put the string in. I think it will be okay. Sorry about that, it was off camera. Get that torn apart so it's not so thick. Okay. This one not going to be so hard because there's no hole to put it in through, but I want to put it in and then tape it down. Right, now I see that I have a little bit of tape here that's gone over, so I trim that off. And we're good. Alrighty, so here's the Shrinky Dink. It's hard, plastic, and that's the hole that I'm going to put the threads through. Get started with that. This is the first card that I did was not so hard to string these through as it was the balloon. So there's one. Here's the other one. Now the third one might give us a little bit of a hard time, but we'll see. And the last one. Which I'm going to use my poker thingy that I use for my brats. Hey, we do what we have to do, right? Okay, so there we are. And there's our 3 balloons. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere these onto the card. First we're going to use the pop-ups. Just flip that around here. And we're going to figure it's going to go, sort of sporadically, you know, one maybe up high and then one down low. Once you adjust that and you kind of get an idea of what you want to do, you're going to go just like that. I've got a little bit of glue on my finger and it's getting stuck. That's not good. Okay, so bring that up a little. Let's put our pop dots on. Like I said, when I started thinking about this card and what I wanted to do, I figured, I need to do a card where it's not just for a boy or not just for a girl, and how would I do that? So I found that paper from Can Company and I thought, yep, that's gonna work. That's what I was looking for. Alright, and one more on that middle one. You should try these Shrinky Dinks. I've been watching a few YouTube videos of people that use them, and they're really good at it. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm not one to give up. So they actually end up turning out really cute. And I remember hearing about them, and I wasn't really sure what they were. So I got my 40% off coupon, and I went ahead and went and used it for the Shrinky Dinks. Okay, so we're going to put this one about here. The middle one's going to go here, and that left one's going to go here. So those are in place. I'm going to tie a little bit of a knot here. And I'm going to bring my plastic piece down. And I'll trim this up in a minute. Okay, so now my score tape comes into place. And I'm using the really, really thin one. And excuse my hand here. I'm going to place it right on the knot. Take that off. Like so. Give it a good push. That, and then I'm also going to put a piece of that score tape underneath the knot. Hold that in place. See, because otherwise it would just lift up and move around. So I'm going to say it's going to go about right here. And bring that down. Hold that in place. Now at this point I can adjust my balloons if I want. If I want to make the strings loose or pull them tight or whatever I decide to do. And for that one I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Get that string on there. Okay. Trim that up. And there is a very simple card using the Celebrations Cricut cartridge. Move that balloon over here, but I think that's about it. If you have any questions, you can contact me on cardcreationsbykim.com or cardcreationsbykim@gmail.com. All right, thanks, and have a great day.